All right, today I'm going to try to make a chicken fried steak. Now, this should go better than some other things I've tried recently. Let's start. What we need is we need the steak, we need to chicken fry it, and we need the gravy. It's got to have gravy. Now, I'm going to start with the gravy because I could heat that up in a bigger pan and then reheat it because I've only got one decent burner. I've only got two burners that work at all, and only one that I use on a regular basis. I think I only need one anyway. I'm going to serve this with mashed potatoes, so I need enough gravy to cook it with the mashed potatoes. I mean to serve it with the mashed potatoes and the steak. Okay, so for the gravy, we need flour, oil, with the beef bouillon cube, water, of course, and milk. The milk's still in the fridge. I'm going to keep that in the fridge until I need it. Okay. Anyway, while the water's boiling and getting the bouillon cube ready, it's called a chicken fried steak because it's fried like fried chicken. Now, a lot of times you may hear it called a country fried steak, and that's only because Yankees got confused. You get a lot of Yankees coming through as tourists and saying, chicken fried steak, where's the chicken? No, man, there ain't no chicken. It's fried like fried chicken, so we call it chicken fried steak. So there ain't no chicken? No, man, there's no chicken. Well, then why is it called chicken fried steak? Well, when we make fried chicken, we take the pieces of chicken, we roll it in flour, and then we fry that in oil. That's a chicken fried steak. That's fried chicken. And if you do it with a steak, you roll the steak in the flour and then you fry it in oil, and that's a chicken fried steak. Well, then where's the chicken? There is no chicken, you idiot. How did you ever win the war? And so in some places they just call it a country fried steak. It's the same thing. It's a chicken fried steak. Now, I screwed up something with the recording on this bloody camera again. So what I'm doing now is I've poured the flour and the oil into a pan. I've mixed it up, and now I'm putting that on the fire. Now the bouillon water is done. I mean the basically bouillon water. It's basically beef broth now. Not much to look at. That's the beef broth, and now we're going to make this. We're going to make the flour and the oil. We're going to brown that a bit, and then we're going to add it to the broth. Now, it doesn't look to me like this is enough. This is going to make enough. I don't think it's going to make enough. Gravy. So what I'm doing here is I'm browning this. I'm going to go get the milk, and then I'm going to add a bit of milk to this, just because you want it to be somewhat creamy. Like I said, this isn't. Whoops, yeah. This isn't Thanksgiving type gravy. It's country style gravy. That's not a real accent, of course. So I'm going to need more of this. I know I'm going to need more of this. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and then I'm going to double the recipe. I'm not going to make you watch me doubling the recipe. And then we'll get to making the steak. Okay, so now it's starting to bubble a bit. we want it to brown lightly. I'm going to keep on showing this, and then when I edit it, I'll speed this part up. So speed up now. Okay. We're going to put this back on the fire. And I'm not really happy with how this oil and flour separated. I don't understand that. So we're going to add that. Now, you maybe need a spoon to scrape off some of that flour. That needs to be in the thing. I'm going to finish making this full recipe and then probably make some more. But I want to finish this recipe first because I want to make sure it came out okay and that it's reasonably gravy-like. Okay, now adding about 120 to 240 mils of milk to this. Let's just make it an even 250. Milk. Adding the milk to this. That's less. That's way too thin. I'm going to add a bit of flour to this. Add it by hand, so I have a bit of control. Okay. Now, this is using so little of my resources that if it doesn't turn out very well at all, or if it's just too thin, you could add milk for the creaminess, but that's not going to thicken it much, is it? So if it comes out too thin, I won't have wasted too much stuff, and I could thicken it with cornstarch. I'm already going to add some pepper, because, I mean, that's it. We're done with the gravy. That's not much. Wonder if this will thicken a bit when it cools down. I don't know. We can give it a go. I think what I'm going to do is leave this for now. And if I need more when I'm done with the whole recipe, I'll make some. And again, I'll make it off camera. But for now, we're going to let this be. It's stirred up pretty well. I'm going to let it start bubbling. See, it's starting to bubble around the edges. And then we'll go to work on the steak. Okay. It's thickening up a little bit. Imagine some of the water is boiling off. When it cools off, I'm going to taste it for flavor. I'm not going to stick my finger in that now. All right, let's turn off the fire. Put this on the back burner. Okay, now I'm preparing the coating mix. Forgot to mention I need an egg. So that's flour. It's mostly flour. Could be only flour, I guess. Where's my... There it is. Put that away now. We're going to add a little... We put this away too. Going to add a little bit of chili powder. It looks like a lot, but it's going to mix up all together. And it maybe is a lot. I always tend to overdo with the chili powder. That's a bad habit of mine. And some pepper. Okay. All right, so we're going to mix this a bit. And you can see you can already see it's just almost all flour. It's just the chili powder and the pepper is just going to add a bit of flavor. And the pepper doesn't matter. The pepper is going to be triply redundant anyway. I had pepper in the gravy. I've now got pepper in the flour. And I'm going to add pepper when it's finished being cooked. Okay, I forgot to get an egg. Okay, so here's the steak. Now it's not round steak, which most people would use, because most of this idea is to tenderize the meat. That's what this hammer's for. So I'm using a much more expensive and fancy cut of meat than you need. So the suggested is round steak. Because this one's already pretty tender, at least by reputation. And it's a lot thinner now. Okay, so now we put it in the egg to make it sticky for the flour and stuff. Okay, good. Now put it in the flour. Make sure it gets coated well. Okay, and while that's sitting there, I'm going to put some oil in the pan and let it heat up. Okay. So now cover it up. Now I'm going to take the pan off the fire to put this into the oil, just because I don't want anything jumping into the flames. Okay, it's not hot enough for anything to have jumped into the flames yet. So now we're going to let that cook. Okay, it's frying up nicely. I'm going to remove it from the pan. I'll let you follow me and see what I'm doing, because I need to turn it over. I don't want it to be in the fire for that. And I also want to add a little more flour on this side because the blood's coming up. with it. That looks pretty good so far. So back to the fire. Okay, now I'm heating up the gravy again, and I'm stirring in a bit of cornstarch just as a thickener. So I need to get that mixed in really well so I can get lumps of cornstarch. That'd be gross. And I've also heated up the potatoes. I heated up potatoes in the microwave. Don't feel cheated. I did not make them from scratch. They are instant. I mean, mashed potatoes, that is. So I'm going to get this hot again. And then get the lumps out of it. And then I'll put the steak back on. Steak's just right here. Just to make sure that's good and hot. And then I'll serve it on a plate, which I shall get out right now. Now that's not as thick as I remember it being, but that'll do the job. Okay. I'm going to cover this to keep some of the heat in. Hold this heats back up a bit. And then I'll pull out the potatoes. Add that to the plate. We'll see that in just a second. Okay, we're going to flip this one more time. And turn off the heat. Okay. There's the plate. And here's the steak. It'll probably become a little bit more regular shaped and probably less big if you just went to the grocery store and got pieces of round steak. Now that looks all right, but we need to add the gravy. I think we have enough. At least enough for our immediate purposes. Gravy on the taters. Gotta have a lot of gravy on the taters. And you need a lot of gravy on the steak. I'm a big gravy guy. Anything that gets served with gravy, I need a lot of it. Well, that's a good looking plate anyway. And we did not need to double up. I've still got, that's not even half of the gravy I made. So, nice. Okay. Chicken fried steak and gravy. Let's see how it came out. Potatoes and gravy are kind of nice. Gravy's a little weak. Maybe do 2 bouillon cubes. It also tastes better if you cook the gravy in the lard that comes from the steak when you cook the steak. But I didn't get that much of that, so I just used oil. So that would probably help a lot too. All right, so the steak. Mmm, mmm, mmm. Chicken fried steak and gravy. Let's get a little potatoes and gravy all on that into one bite. Yeah, huge success. Huge success. So, mm, okay. So that's it for this week. Um, Thumbs up, subscribe, bell, whatever. I'm going to finish eating this. I know it looks a little early for dinner, but I'll have an early dinner. Didn't have lunch. So that's fine. Try this one out. It works really well. It's really easy and fairly fast. Okay. Ta. Hey guys. Hate to tell you this, but I think this is going to be my last moron cooking video for a while. I've hired a social media manager to try to increase my number of students to my website where I sell English lessons. And I mean, at the moment, I'm working with a platform, and that's where most of my students have come from. And I've had I've had my own website doing this for a while as well, but the platform's not really helping me much anymore, and it's kind of out of my hands. Now I can't compete with this major platform with huge investors and it's this huge company. So if somebody Googles online video lessons or English lessons or whatever, I'm not going to appear as a result, or at least not on the first few pages. I'd be like way down the list. I have no clout at all. That sort of thing costs a lot of money. So I've got a social media person helping me out, and she's having me. You've probably seen some of these shorts I've produced. I've got to make a couple of longer form videos. She wants me doing blog posts. So those are going to be about English and learning English and so on. Much more promotional. I need to get more students. I have to. Um, so I got this website. It's costing me money, and I may as well start making money with it. So yeah, the moron cooking videos have been taking a lot of my time. So I like doing them. I think they're funny, and but this is I can't afford the time anymore. Not at the moment. So you may still, if you're subscribed, you may be getting Skint Expat videos instead. You could unsubscribe. I'd understand if you did that. I hope you don't, but you know. Um, that's anyway. I just wanted to let you know that. Thanks for watching, and for the few people who've commented, thanks for that. Especially to my brother, who's been the most regular commenter. I do appreciate that, Chris. And yeah, I'm not going anywhere. It's just the moron cooking thing is, at least for now. So anyway, thanks again for watching, and the videos aren't going anywhere. Just not going to make any new ones. So, all right, take care. Still videos will be coming out, just not those kind anymore. So, bye, and that's it. Like and subscribe. All right, top.